people trying to gather traffic just to get paid because of these apps, the monetization of the apps and all of that. A celebrity put up a post, and then I just went through the comment section, and I was like, wow, are these really human beings?
Yeah.
Apart from faceless accounts, people that actually owns like
you
going
can see
accounts,
their face,
yeah,
their
and I'm like, are you people
names.
thinking at all? Like, but at the end of the day, people they will tell you that it's their opinion.
When does opinion become a claim? You know, there's a difference between opinion about something and claim about something as well, right? I can say the country is not being run well. That's a political opinion, right? Can I say Mr. X, who is an elected representative, is a thief?
Welcome back to Cause and Effect Show with Jumi. With me is my co-host
JT.
This is the Smart Conversational Law Podcast, where fine print is turned into clear conversations. This is the show where we break down the law before the law breaks you. All right, before we go on with today's episode, we have a question from one of our audiences, and the question says, in a case where one sells edibles, in brackets, soups, food, etc., how do one handle refund or no refund policy? For instance, let's say a customer makes a custom order for food, and for whatever reason, the customer wants to return the goods, perishables, and wants refund. In this case, the payment made was what was used to produce the goods, and because it's a special and custom order, no other customer can buy the product. Is it safe for such business to go by the no refund policy, or how best can such business communicate to their customers that they won't be able to refund once production of the goods commence? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very good question. It just shows one of the reality people face with regards to no refunds policy. And I think we touched on it. It's an offshoot from one of the...
That was our first episode.
Oh, it was the first.
Yes.
Okay, so to answer the question, my attempt will be, we have to start from the quality of service and quality of good question, right? Which is guided by generally two things in Nigeria: the Sales of Goods Act, which talks about quality of goods, you know, the obligations of mercantability, stuff like that, and then I think the FCCPA, which we have talked about as well, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act. So those two laws are what guide quality of delivery. It's then the quality of delivery or absence of it that guides, okay, are you as a consumer entitled to a refund? You know, what's it called? A consumer cannot consume something and come back tomorrow and say they want to return it, right? You will have to go back to that question of the quality. So for this person who asked this question, what you will first determine is the fact that, okay, someone asked for afang soup, right? To give an example, I buy afang soup bowls. So I'm putting myself in that shoe. So if I ordered afang soup, and the vendor delivered okra, I'm entitled to a refund. That's clear. If I buy afang soup and afang soup was delivered, am I entitled to a refund? It depends. If the afang soup was full of stones, let's just give an example. You know, it raises the question of, there's a possibility I'm entitled to a refund, because, you know, that quality question, you know, comes in immediately. So generally, I would say vendors can make a strong case for a no refund policy. That is, you can have a no refund policy for custom orders where someone has ordered for something, you deliver that same thing to the person, and it's by a reasonable man's test of good quality. The flip side of it is, of course, if the quality of what you delivered
It's bad.
is bad, right?
Yeah.
It will definitely entitle the consumer, in this case, to a refund. So it's a what's it called? It depends on a range of factors, is what I would say. But generally, for custom orders, you can enforce a no refunds policy once you delivered what was ordered. I know our tilt at the last episode was that a lot of Instagram vendors
Yeah,
like no
that's more
refund, but
that deals. I think how the pinpoints then was the fact that was based more on physical things like shoes,
yes,
clothes. For
yeah,
example, I've had instances whereby people come in, they buy order for shoes, and then they use it for photo shoots, and then they want to return it based on the fact that, oh, maybe it's not my size. But it's obvious that you used, but it's obvious
yeah,
that you used, and then they check the vendor checks out the product that is being returned, and then obvious that, oh, somebody have stepped into this or used this for something. All right, but on the flip side, for a no refund when it comes to food, I feel like that's a little bit extreme because when you order for food, of course, it has been prepared. It has been a lot of the timing has gone into it. Of course, it's not just because when you're making order for things like food, it's not just about the ingredients of that is being used to prepare the food. The time as well. You
exactly,
understand?
yeah,
So when a person makes the food, okay, you ordered for a custom made. On the normal day, maybe the vendor doesn't make edikaiko, but you said you want your edikaiko, you want it with goat head, with cow head. The vendor goes out of his or her way to look for cow head at the abattoir or a goat head, and then makes all of this, and then you said, no, you don't want again, you want a refund. You can't, even if you are going to get a refund, you can't get everything. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. But I mean, ultimately, it's also down to the question of that reasonable man's test that is
Yeah.
applied, because just like you said, to a reasonable man, no, you don't get a refund. But if it's full of stones, the question to be, okay, what's the fair conclusion in that regard? Did
The
I?
fair conclusion will
Yeah,
be, I'm sure that for many Nigerians, if I'm to speak, the best things and the best option that the vendor would want to offer to the customer now
such a
would to,
customer.
yes,
Yeah,
will be to replace, maybe prepare another one, but they will not refund that money to
yeah,
your
yeah,
account.
yeah.
But funny enough, about a few weeks ago, I wanted to make order for something, and then of course I've asked, okay, is this available in so size, in so color, and the vendor was like, yes, it's available. I sent in the money only for less than 2 minutes later. She told me, oh, it's not available in this color again, but this other color is available. I'm like, well, I saw the color before I chose
Before you
the.
made the
I mean, if
choice.
I really wanted the color you're offering me,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be. You understand?
yeah.
So I was like, oh, sorry, I don't like the color that is available. Um, can I get a refund?
Refund.
And immediately, in less than, I don't even think it was up to a minute, she asked for my details and all of that, and she refunded the money. I was actually surprised because somebody else would jag with you and tell you that
Yeah, that, I mean, that's how it
after two
should
working
be.
days, or after 5 working days, or after 7 working days, because I really needed the money to get what I wanted to get. All right, I was actually very surprised. I was like,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
there are
I
good
am so
examples out
impressed.
there.
Actually, I was impressed. And I told her that I've saved your contacts in case I need something else that you actually do have. I'm coming back to patronize you. Because for me, it shows like, okay, you are not greedy. You're not a greedy person. You are not self-centered or selfish. Because I was very surprised. Like, I got my money back within a minute. I was really surprised.
Why are you surprised?
I
It
was
should be the normal
surprised.
thing,
It should be the
actually.
normal thing, but because it's not the normal thing,
Yeah,
it's not the
yeah,
normal thing. Somebody will tell you that after, because I've seen cases where I want to order online, and then the person will, and I will see in their what's a policy like, if there's any issues for refund, it will be maybe after 5 working days. What if I need my money before 5 working days? So I should be dragging money with you, my own money. I know I don't have that time,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but for food, food is a little bit
Yeah, it's
dicey.
actually dicey. It's a
Yeah.
dicey matter. Yeah.
It's a dicey one. All right. So back to today's topic. Our topic today is social media and defamation. When to is go to courts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, um, let's be honest. Nigerians live online. Not only Nigerians. I think the
Yeah, it's
literally the
in
whole world
general. Yeah,
live online now, and then we have a lot of messages, a lot of comments, a lot of
interactions.
interactions online with strangers, even with some people that you know one on one. But I feel like it's more the people that you know one on one. You don't even get to interact with them so much online compared to people that are
You do not
strangers.
know.
All right. So now for context, we have the Twitter, no, now
Now
X.
X.
No,
Yeah.
Twitter is only forever Twitter anyway. We have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Facebook, and then WhatsApp too has been categorized as a war zone as well. Now, when you log in and you post something online, for example, somebody tweets online this and this and this and this, and then somebody respond with with a comment that is untrue, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
celebrities, they are the ones that get attacked the most. Because of course, if you are not known, you will not get attacked. Who knows you?
Yeah.
It's somebody that is known, I mean, worldwide, that will get attacked. And then I've seen issues whereby for celebrities, they when maybe they post a picture or they make a comment, and then a random person, a faceless um
Account.
account, then comments that this blah blah blah, which is not even true, but just to probably in their attempt to bring down the person or to make the person look bad, paint the person bad in the face of, just to make the person look bad in the face of um their fans, as
Yeah.
it were. I mean, what do you say to that?
Yeah. So just like you said, it's a world that is full of interactions with mostly faceless accounts nowadays. If I'm speaking with specific reference to X now, and I think the general context we can also come from is that monetization of
The apps.
interactions of the apps these days has created an environment where people are trying to be controversial. Controversial sort of brings more money or impressions
So
and
the
stuff like that. So that has created an environment where people, um, you know, who think they are anonymous or people who aren't even anonymous, like just they have an actual account, make claims and hear their opinions and end up in a typical maybe defamation suit or threat. So I think that's like the general context. But if we are to get into the details of it, what I would say is that whenever you want to express something online, it's a rule I live by with myself as well. I call it a defamation hedge, right? And what I mean by that is if I want to give an opinion, mostly about an individual,
yeah.
right? Just like you said, the first test is it true,
Yeah.
right? And how do you determine the truth of something? It must be something you can prove, right? If I say, okay, you're wearing a white dress or a white clothing, that's like an example of the element of testing whether something is true or not.
Yeah.
People can see it, it can be proven. So the moment people put things online, it could fall into any category of the types of defamation. And I think the printed one is typically slander also. While the other
No,
one
the
is
printed
it
is
is it the other
libel.
way around?
The printed is
Libel.
libel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
libel.
it's the other way around. So how do you prevent yourself from making a libelous statement is what most people should be asking themselves. Some people don't care about it. Some of the anonymous accounts that go around harassing celebrities, like you said, they don't care about it. But it's something that people should pay attention to. And how I live by those principles is, okay, if I want to give an opinion on something or about someone, the first test is it true? Is this something that if they ask me, I can actually prove it? A lot of people make careless statements because number one, they think there are no consequences. I think we are living in an environment now where day to day, week to week, we are seeing consequences, because that's why someone will just engage a law firm to say, please write this person to either take down that statement or prove what they are saying to be true or not. I think we can start from that general premise in terms of approaching it.
Yeah, I understand what you said concerning, especially concerning the facts where you mentioned people trying to gather traffic just to get paid because of these apps, the monetization of the apps and all
Yeah.
of that. But in this sense, I think it's far much deeper or than that, in the sense that most of this, I mean, I was going through a celebrity put up a post and then I just went through the comment section and I was like, wow, are these really human
Human
beings?
beings,
Even
yeah.
for people,
Yeah.
even coming from people that, apart from faceless accounts, people that actually owns
Yeah.
like
You can
going
see their
accounts.
face,
Yeah,
their
and I'm like, are
actual
you people
names.
thinking at all? Like, do you think before you write, or you write before you think, or you don't even? I mean, it's a kind of very disgusting to say, if I must say. But at the end of the day, people just they will tell you that it's their opinion, and I feel like it's more of a deeper rooted issues of anger. Because really, if you look at when I look at people that come for celebrities, I don't think that they hate, in quotes, they hate the person per se. It's just like probably you feel like when you feel like a certain person is doing better than you, there's this human. I don't want to dive away from this topic,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then it is what it is. It's just unfair, especially when it comes to writing things that are not true about a person, because you are damaging. Apart from the fact that you are damaging their character, their person, mentally too. I mean, a lot of people are reading it. They have that perception about them. And one thing about perception, sometimes perception is stronger than reality, because
Yeah.
when you are perceived to be something, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. That perception, especially when it's not changed or explained, that oh, you're not this, so. But a lot of people, let's say 1,000 of people, have believed that this is what they perceive you to be.
Yeah.
I mean, the news makes sure that that's who you are.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's not true.
Yeah, and with social media, it travels at the speed of light. So
Exactly.
I think one thing we can also touch quickly on, just to broaden the conversation a little, is that there is, when does opinion become a claim? Something like that difference, because like you said, the response of most people is
They are
my
just,
opinion.
yeah, my opinion.
Right? But there's a difference between opinion about something and claim about something as well. And maybe that's the difference people don't really appreciate. So to make it more practical, we have rights under the Constitution.
Yeah.
Rights to opinion, expression of that opinion.
Yes.
Right? I can say the country is not being run well. That's a political opinion. Yeah. Right? Can I say Mr. X, who is an elected representative, is a thief? Can I call that a political opinion?
That is not an opinion. That is outright defamation of character.
That's a claim. Yeah. So, I'm trying to bring the distinction between, and when people express these things on social media, on either political spectrums, they do it freely and with reckless abandon, if we can call it that. But we just need to bring that consciousness into everyone, that you can make an opinion about something, and you get away with it under your constitutional rights. But you can also be careful about the claims you make, because if they are not true, then it becomes outright defamation of character. So, it's that speed bump that people need to add for themselves, that before I post this thing, am I expressing it as an opinion?
That's why I said a lot of people are just they tweet or they write or they make posts from the place of unnecessary anger or unnecessary anguish. Especially, imagine, okay, I'm not sure with the recent issue of kidnappings happening in the country. I can't remember who, but somebody posted something unrelated. I think she had probably had a baby. I can't remember whatever it is. And then the question they were asking that is it now you are supposed to be posting that you have a baby? You don't know what's going on in the country. How does my having a baby has to do? I understand there's a lot of whatever it is going on, but still it's not. I'm not the source. I'm not an elected representative. If you are going to hold anybody responsible, hold your governor, hold your whoever it is that is your channel of. You voted for someone, right? And if you didn't vote, then get a voter's card and vote. But instead of challenging unnecessary anger issues towards celebrities, because they feel like celebrities are living life, and I don't blame people that also come after celebrities as well, because sometimes I'm not supporting any
of
party,
course,
but sometimes it's when it comes to social spaces, especially on all these apps, one has to be very reasonable when making posts at certain times, and you understand what I mean, especially in a country like Nigeria, where everybody is like on emotional steroids. Like any small little thing, there's either a blow up here or blow up there, you understand? But still, that doesn't give anybody the right to just attack or defame anybody's character.
Yeah.
All right. And then it's not just we have the issues of people thinking they have free speech, because of course under the law you have the right
you have the right to express yourself.
to express freedom of expression, right? But that freedom of expression, you and I both know that it has its boundaries, of course. You can't, just because you have the freedom of expression as a human being doesn't mean you can express some things just because you feel like. It's not just about it's your opinion. For example, from the example you give, if an elected representative is in power and then maybe to your own observation they're not doing things right, things are not being done the way it should be done, it's a different thing. You say, oh, I don't think this person is doing pretty well, they could have done this much better. That is an objective criticism if you are going to criticize, right? But when you now come out rightly to say, oh, this person is a thief, he's just swallowing the money, how do you know he's swallowing money? How do you even know there is money to be swallowed? Do you understand? And the fact that we for everybody that uses the social media, is like the social media has become, I feel like it has become a kind of space whereby, when they say fishes in the ocean eat up fishes, other fishes, like, you understand, that is how I see it. When it's your voice against mine, whose voice is the loudest, kind of thing.
That's the general settings. And what I also want to, of course, differentiate is that criticisms are okay. We don't have an obligation to make constructive criticisms. I think that's my controversial take. Because an often repeated statement is that you are just criticizing what you are not making it constructive. First of all, we don't have an obligation to make constructive criticisms. What I would want us to differentiate is the fact that when you are making criticisms, also ensure that it's something true. Right? That's like the most important element. That's how you distinguish what is defamation and what is not. If you are making a criticism and you are citing, a source, to an extent you are protected. And that's a mistake some people make too. I wouldn't mention any newspaper's name, obviously, but let's say, for example, one of these popular top 5 newspaper prints something, right? And I publish it on my X account. To some reasonable extent, I would believe that the newspaper made findings
before they put
it out. Right? And that's the basis on which I'm putting it out. If a defamation case arises,
you will tell them it's from social news channel.
Can that protect me? Maybe not, but
maybe not. Do you think so?
Because what happens is that the person at the end of that publication could decide to sue the newspaper. They could decide to sue me separately because I published it as well. In a way.
But wait, in this kind of scenario, like you said, if you see something on a newspaper, but you have a defense because you have a source.
the
as it's
defense to the defense to defamation is very limited.
Yeah.
The first defense is it's true.
Yeah.
If it happens to be a lie, that
Mm-hmm.
it came from a
Yes, yes,
source,
also. You
it won't
understand?
hold up in court. So I mean, that also brings into context another thing we need to pay attention to, which is the fact that even newspapers sometimes they get it wrong,
Yeah.
right? And that's why one of the reliefs in defamation is that is a takedown, that you take down what was put up before,
Yeah.
or you issue an editorial to say
Do
an
your
editorial
statements,
sometimes sort of an embarrassment to the
apology. Yeah.
newspaper itself to say, oh, we made this grave error, we
Yes.
apologize and whatnot. So um, just to say that sometimes when you rely on newspapers, for instance, do your own second check. I do it. I do my sense checking sometimes that, okay, for instance, if it's about budget, I know there's a budget office,
Yeah.
right? If it, even most times, the newspaper itself will reference that source, right? So that's also something, people who care about it really
Yeah,
can
that I
do.
was going to say that for people that care about it, because
Yeah,
people, I don't think I have that luxury
patience.
of time. If I'm getting something from a reputable news channel, I want to believe as the
Yeah,
listener
yeah.
too that in their good,
They did their job.
yes, exactly, and they are in good state of mind before they put such news out. You understand? So I can't still go and start checking. Okay, so did what
Yeah.
so people put that, is it true? Nobody really
Because
has that
what
time.
the reason why I mentioned that thing about source is that we have this proliferation of media, this thing nowadays, that, and for I can't mention the name too,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
some of these blog sites
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
they wear this double face of, is it a
News
news
site or
site
a gossip
or a
site.
gossip site? That's like the extreme example. But there are also some news sites that sometimes they are political in nature. So they will post sometimes things that are not accurate or in that gray area. So that's why I was pointing the attention to source. Be careful about your source, because
Yeah.
your source could be wrong too
Okay, so
sometimes.
but coming down to this issue of blog sites, I know that for our generation, most people don't. I don't even know if they used to sell newspapers. I think so,
They
right?
do, of
Oh,
course.
okay. All right. Sorry. I mean, I don't buy it, so I don't know. So, but of course, but growing up, I saw that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I've not really seen a younger person like literally carrying newspaper and then sitting down to read. What most of us do, I mean, we're with our devices half of the time,
Yeah.
go through all these apps just to get the news. When it comes to blogs, would you say blogs are they a good? Would you call them a good or positive place to actually get news from?
I mean, it's a very subjective question, but personally, I think the only type of news I get from blog
Gossip.
sites is gossip.
Exactly. I feel like they're more. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
apologies to no, no offense, but I feel like that is more than 90% of the time. That is what I see on blogs. Gossip. What does not concern me? Oh, this person has done this. Oh, this person did that. Oh, that. I mean, apart from the fact that okay, maybe in some cases, if there's a general news affecting the country as a
yeah.
whole,
They
then that's
sometimes
when,
take it up
yeah,
too.
this
Yeah,
that's because okay, affecting the country as a whole. But how many times has that been? More or less, barely like 10% of the time. Other
yeah,
things are gossip. This person did this. This person did that. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, but I still think that that still brings us to the fact that news channels like the recognized news channels are still the best place to get when it comes to news, whether because we want to assume that of course apart from the fact that they're registered with the government, they also, I want to believe, they know what they
They
are
have
doing.
their editorial processes,
Exactly.
so that's
So
that's what's really.
exactly.
They would, most of them even have like internal legal departments that actually sometimes check the kind of
The news
news,
they are
the kind
putting
of
out.
opinions. So
Yeah. Yeah, but for Nigeria, we have, when it comes to real life scenarios of news of defamation cases, we have this issue of I don't like. Well, this is a personal opinion, but I know you are a versatile person on that app, but I don't like that app. It's,
I mean,
there's
it's
so
a
much.
choice.
I know there is a lot of news that things that trend, especially when there's a call out for whether celebrities, politicians. That place is where to find who is trending or who is. But at the end of the day, I feel like that this particular app, um, I mean, name withheld, or you know it, but then it's more of a place where defamation thrives.
Yeah, and it's the nature of the app as well, because you have this, what's it called, almost immediate
Response,
platform where you can air your view
opinion,
on
or view.
something, and the temptation is that people, like you had said previously, they talk before they think, that
Yeah,
kind of scenario. So yeah, that's very prevalent on the app, but yeah, it's just a case of people being cautious, because as you see, there are many instances of people realizing that I can actually go after someone
yeah.
if they've made a claim about me that is untrue, and I can claim damages in that regard.
Yeah, that's true. Like we also mentioned the other time, are there ways? I know we mentioned the fact that there's a way to state something. For example, I've seen instances whereby people call out business owners online. Maybe there's a case of I bought something and then money was not refunded on time or in time, or something else was delivered, and then they go online and write, so don't patronize this so person. The person is a thief. You understand? And like I was saying earlier, I gave an example of when somebody refunded a vendor refunded my money almost immediately, and I was surprised because most of the time I see people, they will write 5 to 7 working days for a refund, and I don't have the luxury of time to wait for refund for between 5 to 7 working days. And then when people, like I said, when people buy something online and the vendor doesn't refund on time, and then they go to this app
To
and text to
publicize.
publicize that don't patronize so person is a thief. And meanwhile, this kind of thing has happened to not one, two, three, four, five, and then immediately the person that was also in the same boat sees your tweets and was like, and then they also join mouths. I mean, you understand the bandwagon and all of
Yeah.
that. Would you think it's a that kind of call out? Do you think it's a good one? Would you?
Yeah, because the elements or the test for determining whether what you are expressing is right, like we said before, is the
Is it true?
truth. If I ordered something from you and you haven't delivered it, I can express that opinion. It's not even an opinion, it's a
It's a
fact.
fact.
Like, let's get it clear. I ordered something, it wasn't delivered. It's a fact. Can I go on to call the person a thief? It's a different ballgame. But essentially, you are holding my property. So,
You are behaving like
the
one.
reasonable men in the society are free to interpret that you are a thief or not, right? You don't need to carry gun before you are called before you are called
Oh
a
my
thief.
god.
So, those are the tests that, and it's funny because what I also now see some business people doing or vendors doing is that they go after someone who has made the right claim. And I'm like, are you being ridiculous deliberately?
Or trying to
Like they
like
would
defend
like
the co-vendor
no,
or
not
their
even not
co-vendors.
even that. Like I've seen a scenario. I'm very sure a lot of people on X will be familiar with that. But I've seen a scenario where the vendor actually wrote or had engaged a lawyer to write to the customer who they had allegedly wronged
Okay.
to request a takedown
Of the
and to
poorest.
claim defamation.
Ah.
So, of course, it will then get into whether it's true or
True or
not,
not.
because I think if I follow that case well, eventually, the affected person or the customer refused to take down that post as requested in the lawyer's letter, which they publicized, and nothing happened, quote unquote, to the best of my limited knowledge online, because she
Yeah.
made follow-on posts. So that's just to give an example of the truth element being something that protects you if you get a defamation claim, and it's something people should pay attention to. One last thing I wanted to also notice that a trick that we Twitter people use, a couple of us use, is that instead of making a claim, it's not legal advice. Ask it as a question.
Okay.
So
They should ask it. Instead of making a claim, they should ask as a question.
Yeah, there's this expression in British journalism that
Okay.
I'm not saying X is X, so I'm just asking a question.
Wow.
So if
Nice
I ask
one.
a question, it could be answered, but you can't come tomorrow and say my question was a claim.
Actually, you have a point, because when it comes to, in litigation, when you are cross-examining a witness, cross-examination, and then maybe you are representing a what's it called now, a defendant or
Yeah.
whoever it is, and then the lawyer from the other side wants to ask a question, and they're like, and the person is like saying, okay, on so dates, did you say you are at a shopping mall
Yeah.
or at home? And you say, oh, I wasn't at home, I was at the shopping mall. So would you say that you being at the shopping mall, the way they twist, like
To
just
twist the
to
questions,
just to
yeah.
bring out the truth?
Yeah.
That's a kind of, I don't know, it's a kind of examining and trying to cross-examine
Yeah. So
people's mind and to read people's line of thought as well.
Exactly. So it's just a way of framing people's mind, because if someone answers that question,
And
they
you've
may
just
sue that
listened
person for defamation. But you who asked the question, you are
only asking a question.
You are only asking a
And
question.
there's no law
of
against
course, it's
asking
not
questions.
legal advice. They
It's
can
not
sue you
legal
tomorrow. So of course, apply
apply
discretion.
wisdom, apply discretion. So how do you think that people can legally stay safe online when it comes to expressing their opinions, as it were?
Yeah, so we've touched on it to a large extent. First of all, you have the general right to expression, as it is your constitutional right, and don't let the quote-unquote fear of defamation curtail you from expressing yourself freely. Having said that, the general principles are things that we have said here. Number one, whatever you're expressing, especially with regard to a person, you can express freely about the state of things in the country. If I express things maybe about, a sector, a product, not tied to one company, I'm generally good.
Yeah.
Defamation arises
When you attack there's a particular phase.
Yeah, because there will be an affected entity behind it.
Yes.
So how you frame your expression matters. So if you want to talk about something, right, if it affects someone, just make it generalistic. Like, take a generalistic view at it. That's also one of the principles. Of course, make sure it is true. Make sure that you verify your sources, because sometimes relying on sources alone doesn't count. And, ask it as a question sometimes, if that's how you...
Actually, I feel like this idea of asking it as a question is even more safer, actually. And then I also feel like, even when you've had bad, for example, with this, when it comes to issue of businesses, when you had bad experiences with vendors, it's better to write out that experiences instead of outrightly calling them names or
they're like name
you understand?
calling.
Yeah. Then also you have to think before you post. Like I said, a lot of people don't think. They actually write, because I've seen I think there was a celebrity that somebody kept over and over writing things against, and by the time this celebrity tracked that down, arrested her, of course the video was online. I was like, good one. Scapegoats.
Yeah, because,
all right, because
what we haven't talked about yet is the differences between civil and criminal defamation as it exists under Nigerian law. I have personal opinions, obviously, about the criminal aspect of it. Generally, I used to, it's a personal take, but generally, I used to be inclined to only civil defamation, right?
Okay.
But time and time again, I believe there is a gap in the Nigerian legal framework as how it relates to um, criminal defamation. It's currently, I believe, addressed to some extent under the cyber security law, I think of 2015 or so. It was eventually amended. Of course, it's been abused to some extent by some people as well.
Yeah.
But we as a society just need to figure out, because it's a debate that goes from time to time, that is this the right thing to do? Can't maybe this celebrity just take the civil defamation route? It could be abused by political
Yeah.
persons who are saying, oh, X is doing, someone is saying something about me, throw him in prison. That itself now clamps down on the right to freedom of political expression. So there needs to be some balancing
No,
acts
no,
is
well,
where I'm going
this,
to.
I understand your points. This one is not even political expression. This one is just outright like you keep damaging,
Yeah,
writing
we're saying
damaging.
the same. I'm saying that when we allow celebrities do that, which if you address case by case, you will feel like justice has been done
Yeah.
in that case. The question is, if you allow that to happen, you also open this floodgates of abuse by political strong, maybe higher up people. We are familiar with one of these cases. I wouldn't mention the name, but of a company where I think their product was reviewed and she was arrested, right, based on the same law, right? It's the same law that celebrity used, that the company used. Most people, when they assess that company's case, they side with the person who was arrested. So where I'm just going to is that, people have this debate about, yeah, it's right, if someone, I side with that celebrity, for instance, in that regard, but it just creates that conflict of thinking in my mind when I assess the celebrity's case and I assess the company's case whose product. I mean, if your product was bad,
Yeah.
why are you arresting someone for, for
That's
expressing
true.
that opinion?
That's true.
So, it's not something that you can say X is X and go to bed. That's just
Yeah.
the view I have.
Yeah, I understand. But at the same time, people should just mainly, like I said, think before they put anything out there.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in the real sense, we know that whatever is only anything that has not been posted online that doesn't have evidence, whether it's deleted or not. But the fact that it's already online, somebody has already made a screenshot that you don't know
Most
from. So
likely, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So there will always be that evidence, that trail of evidence online. Might not be
yeah.
plenty, but there.
I've had an instance where I made a tweet, and even though I tell myself I don't delete, I deleted it because number one, I didn't think before I tweeted it. I was like, Tony, if they get you in a room, a negotiation room, and say, what's your proof for what you just said? I wouldn't be able to come. So I deleted that tweet. And I think that's the principle everyone should live by
Even
too.
that's what I'm saying. What if somebody had made a screenshot of your tweet?
Good question. I think a couple of minutes later, I'm not sure if I'm mixing up facts, but I saw it bookmarked. So I did. I deleted it immediately. Of course, what I was counting on was that, well, it's not even that controversial, blah blah blah. But it just gives an example of how permanent
Yeah.
whatever you publish
I
can be.
understand. So that's the thing. One has to be very careful of the kind of post they make online, and at the same time, we should also remember the fact that social media gives us a voice. We have the law, and with law comes always have consequences. So whatever we do, whatever you are saying, ensure that it's the truth. Ensure that
Exactly.
you can prove it. If you can't prove it, that somebody has stolen somebody else's money, don't bother saying it. You can read
Yeah.
that and digest, but it's better for you to just, or maybe ask questions. Is it true
Or
that
you can wonder loudly.
you wonder loudly? I don't know if that one, no, I don't understand. It's better to ask to be safe. Just ask a question. This is a legal advice, so please ask the question. Is it true that you heard that? Is it true? Please, who can answer? Or who knows the facts of the story? No, it's actually better to ask that. Does anybody have the facts of it? Because I've actually seen this post like that. Who has the facts of this case, or who have the facts of the story? Please, can you enlighten us more? Can you shed more light? That one is safer. You know, you're asking a question. Other than start writing stories that you cannot even.
You cannot explain.
At the end of the day, when they come to arrest you with the size of your house, everything all the furniture in your house cannot pay the bill. Hey, your own. All right, so that's going to be a wrap on this episode. Thank you for listening to Clause and Effect, the Smart Conversational Law Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and share the video with somebody who posts with sense and think like a lawyer. It's only a lawyer. That's why you're not asking that question. Makes you think like a lawyer. Actually, if you cannot think like a lawyer, don't make a post that will put you inside trouble.
Yeah.
And if you have a question, send it our way via our mail address clauseeffect.co@gmail.com. You see below on the screen. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.